While making a video comparing Mario 3's delicious game design to Super Mario World's mid-tier design, did I say mid-tier? I meant trash tier. Yeah, I said it, so comparing it to Super Mario 3, that's easy for me. I need a challenge. I'm doing a warm-up with Super Mario Bros. 1. And while we all know its iconic World 1-1, let's compare its World 1-2 to Super Mario World's Yoshi's Island 2. Okay, I'm wrong. I mean, look at them. Obviously, Super Mario World is far superior. Actually, hold on. Adjust your dial. There we go. Yep, like I said, trash. Seriously, even without my analysis, which is more interesting? Like, given the choice, which one are you going to play? You're smart. You see it. I know you do. No, but Super Anthony, that's not fair. Look, they give you a Yoshi in that block. Yoshis are awesome. No, Yoshis are pointless and useless because you barely designed your game around them. Don't believe me? I love when the game just makes arguments for me. And don't get me started on how awful these fortress levels are. The front cover has Mario with a cape on a Yoshi. Constrained in tight space means your cape's air game is useless. Unlike this sensual goodness. And Yoshis aren't even allowed. Great job building on concepts in your game. Maybe the fire flower is useful. No, of course not. But this section here is some of the most remarkable game design in human history, with so much to unpack. But let's not skip anything and start from the beginning. Level 1 is a preview of Level 2's challenge of navigating tighter spaces, which are reinforced at the start here. If you're puny Mario, it's risky to get these rewards, and you gotta deal with these Goombas. Maybe you could wait, patience is an option, or just skip past it. But you got that firepower, something you earned, so you don't gotta do all that. Mario's got a shipment of medicine to deliver for you. It's a preview of both the challenge of tight spaces and how your prior success or failure can make things easier or harder on you. We then train you with tighter jumps than before, and if you fall, it's alright, you ain't gonna die or nothing, you're just learning. Want to discover what's in here? You can go for it, but you gotta deal with this Goomba with just 3 tiles of space. Goombaya, my lord, Goombaya. Now, before I show you this section of pure magic, let's examine Yoshi's Island 2, which begins teaching you about tossing Koopa shells for a nice little reward. I could pick on this for being pretty obvious with kind of a false choice because why wouldn't you do this? It's not really a risk. It's a fine teaching tool, but I will note, having the fire flower at the start of Yoshi's Island 2? Yeah, that happened. Thanks a lot. But all good. Here's where things get really interesting. 1-2 ups the challenge with these Koopa Troopas. Again, we could take them out if we have the fire flower, or we have to deal with them in a tighter space if we don't have it. But Super Mario's got those brick-breaking powers to skip past Koopa Troopas and get extra coins. But if you're small Mario, you're a failure. No, not you, the other viewers. And you can't get these coins up here. Unless you're a smart guy, and then you could jump up and get these coins like this. And this is special because Mario 1 is actually thoughtful about giving out coins. But Super Mario World just jams coins down your gullet all game long. Now, although your special trick got Baby Mario some coins, you could still lose out. Because as Super Mario, you could choose to explore, break these bricks, then skip the entire level, combining everything, your status, exploration, and skills, while giving you a clear choice. Avoid risk by skipping the level, or take on risk to earn these rewards. The level design itself ensures that your decisions, execution, and your status truly matter. Like here, your status and exploration grants you this Starman and makes you feel so clever breezing through these enemies. But maybe use a Mamaluka and you can't get the Starman and now you gotta deal with all this. Or you smart cause you got that Super Mario's and you break these bricks and you don't gotta deal with these Goombanas no more. As puny Mario, it's risky. You gotta move with caution. There could be enemies on the other side of this tunnel you don't even know the first time. Or you're clever because you could use your knowledge and skills to try to knock enemies out with these Koopa Troopas. And that's way more clever and satisfying than... No. But you're even more special than that, because you have a fire flower destroying these enemies easy. Look at you, so handsome. This doesn't work because of the mere existence of fire flowers and breakable bricks. It's because the level is designed around it. Like people ask me all the time, Super Anthony, why do you make such a fuss out of fire flowers? They're not even that useful. Yeah, that's because your level design sucks. Yeah, you. I'm looking at you, bitch. It sucks so bad that they just give you coins for killing enemies in these empty, boring spaces. They're like, well, this fire flower isn't useful at all. What do we do with it? Just give them some coins. And that's all this game needs is more coins. Seriously, I can't drive this point home enough. Coin inflation from Super Mario 1 to Super Mario World is awful. It makes the rare moments of good design in Super Mario World completely irrelevant. Like, why would I bother engaging in this when I know I'm going to be bombarded with rewards all over the place? Now, Super Mario 3 has some of these problems too, but it's a sexual thrill ride, so you'll be forgiven for overlooking it. Though I digress, because while this one section of World 1-2 has so much to unpack, certainly this newer, more advanced game is going to give me so much more to analyze. Wow, that is intense. What would you like me to analyze here? You got a Yoshi, and cool, you get to eat these berries and get, more coins. So there you go. Consider the second section of Yoshi's Island 2 analyzed. So back to World 1-2, here's an opportunity to be challenged by tight spaces. And of course, the ability to earn these rewards, which you couldn't have if you didn't explore while being super. If you got good enough at jumping, you can explore and discover this 1-up, and you're rewarded for being super since breaking this brick easily grants you the 1-up. Otherwise, you can still get it, but you'll have to try to run through this relatively challenging section while encountering piranha plants for the very first time. And if you're forced to do that to get the 1-up, you can't get the rewards down this pipe here. It's a choice you have to make that you wouldn't have had to if you were able to get here as Super Mario. Now this is subtle but significant, because this section in Yoshi's Island 2 is almost exactly like World 1-2, except it's not. See, even though I can warp down and get these rewards and a slight shortcut, it doesn't build on anything previously. All those consequences in World 1-2, they just don't exist here. Well, now at least here, I do feel rewarded for having the Yoshi. If I fail to get the 1-up by tossing these blocks, jumping off of Yoshi is a foolproof alternative. Nice. But this comparatively not interesting to obtain reward is outside of the critical path and rare. Yoshi's Island 2 is a decent teaching tool as it moves you through an empty space like it's baby's first Mario. These sections show you the value of getting the Switch Palace. Here you get your first Dragon Coin, learn how Yoshi's and Koopa shells interact, encounter this charging Chuck, but it spoon-feeds you concepts in the least interesting way possible. What should I do here? Oh, what about this part? I wonder how I should approach it. I did it! Yay! I guess here you could say you're rewarded for a Yoshi, but I mean, it's not really much of a challenge getting it and moving it here. There are virtually no choices other than should I walk past this thing or not? Oh, but Super Anthony, you're just cheating. I know it. Nope. There's just not much to say. I mean, take these berries out and what do you got? Yeah, a blank screen. That's what they should have named this level. Empty blank screen, devoid of content. In fairness, perhaps the best section to compare this to is this. While this more dense section seems like it could have been really deep, it's really not. We saw in 1-2 how there were so many different outcomes dependent on your power-ups, skill level, and willingness to explore. Here, it's non-existent. Nothing about this level design makes the mushroom, fire flower, or capabilities useful or rewarding in any unique way. There's nothing much to assess other than, do I decide to engage with this or run right through it? Perhaps the star of this level should be Yoshi, and yeah, he can eat these mole creatures to make this section easier, which is nice, but that doesn't make traversing this section any more interesting or rewarding. In fact, having a Yoshi here is an inconvenience, since I have to jump off him to climb this vine. Perhaps it's a good opportunity to teach the player about jumping off a Yoshi, but then why not design it like this? You'd be forced to learn how to jump off him, and you'd feel rewarded for having him. And no, this isn't criminally bad design, and while it makes the game easier to learn some concepts, it takes away opportunities for feeling the impact of those concepts. The level teaches you how things work, but never how they add up to a greater sum. Yeah, you get this dragon coin, but did you really do much to earn it? Did anything you do prior to it really lead up to this moment? It's a shallow snapshot in which everything you did prior didn't actually matter at all. Towards the end, we get 2 pipes in an otherwise empty screen, and then, look! Oh my god! Level design! It's a Festivus miracle! Here, you can decide to take on Charging Chuck while getting some coins, or if you're Super Mario, you could avoid the risk, release this P-switch, and create a bridge for yourself and clear the white tape. Or if I'm not big, but I have a Yoshi, I could be clever and grab this switch by using my tongue power. Now, this could have been a section where I suggested that your status really has an effect on what you do, because as Little Mario, I'd have no choice but to deal with this Charging Chuck. Except, nope, none of that's true, because they designed it so that I can flip these even as Small Mario, which makes this section way less interesting, and it wasn't all that interesting to begin with. And before you say, well, you could break them, but from the top as Big Mario. See? Yeah, that's great, but you actually have to design your game to take advantage of that fact. Which, spoiler alert, it doesn't really do it that often, and when it does, not that well. Back to the final section of 1-2, these moving platforms allow you to make a handsome discovery, as this warp zone is a magnificent use of this out-of-bounds negative space, which works because this level feels dense and complete, and doesn't require this background to trick you into thinking you're playing anything other than an empty prototype. And this level design doesn't live in a vacuum either, as it ends by combining this new red Koopa, surrounded by open pits, with the new moving platforms, which combine to preview the open-air challenges of 1-3, where thoughtfully building concepts level by level, laying the foundation for the entire game. I'll dive deeper in my next video on Super Mario 3, but look at how many concepts Super Mario World just throws at you and dismisses in its first world. And I know what you're all gonna say. Things like, oh, but Super Anthony, these are just the basic levels. The later levels are the great ones. Nope, the level design is perpetually awful. But Super Anthony, that's really the first level, not the second one. Sorry, I didn't name the levels. Also, this first one sucks too. Oh, Super Anthony, what about returning to levels? That's so cool. Sucks, and it actually hurts the game. I'm foreshadowing. But Star Road also sucks. And don't worry, I'm covering it all. I'm gonna go there. I'm going to address all those points and way more. I'm slaying this blasphemously overrated game once and for all. So go ahead, feed me your hate. I want it. I want your hate. Your tears. It's your tears I want. Please give them to me. Also, wishlist my game Joltsy on Steam. Thank you.